Thank you. Um, yeah, so I think we could do intro if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure.
So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
am Stefan Akoki. I'm the founder of Elevate Côte d'Ivoire, and we
Mhm.
are the nonprofit organization that has been working in education and job creation to help Ivory Coast and the rest of Africa with better opportunities and better education.
Mm.
So I'm originally from Ivory Coast, and I moved to the US about 10 years ago. I went to BYU here in Utah, studying
Oh,
information
okay. Very
system and been
close.
working as
Close
a,
to our campus.
yes, yeah, very
But
close.
still 10-hour
Yes,
drive.
yes, 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 that I drive. Yeah, yeah. Have you been to Utah?
Yes, I did multiple times.
Oh,
They
really?
have,
Good,
yeah,
good,
there are
good.
several national parks, so we gotta go
Yes,
there. Okay.
yes, yes, yes. They're very beautiful.
Yeah.
They're very beautiful. Yeah. My brother actually lives in Carson in LA, Southern LA.
Oh, okay.
So I used to live there.
So you're familiar with the LA then? Okay. I bet
Yeah,
the Fullerton is 1 hour from LA, so the
yeah,
environment atmosphere is quite different. So we are a little bit more quieter than
yes,
the
that's
LA.
true. Yeah. Well, one of my friend actually from BYU who did his master at Fullerton. So I went there once.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a
Hmm.
very beautiful campus. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
I enjoyed it.
Then
But
she
yeah,
might have
anyways.
taken my class.
He
I've been
did
here
he
for a
didn't
really
like
long time,
oh really? How long?
26 years.
Ooh, wow. That is a long time. You must like it then.
No, just once you get a job, then you
Yeah,
gotta keep your job and until you retire.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's about me. Curious to hear about you. So you've been there
sure,
26
yeah, yeah.
years.
I've been here
Uh,
26 years. So I
uh-huh.
joined this department in 1998.
Uh-huh.
Then 1980, I'm not sure, even 99, I was. Right.
Wow.
So after I finished my PhD, then I've been in the industry several years.
Uh-huh.
So then before I apply for even PhD graduate program, I've been also in industry in 5 years. So then
Uh-huh.
I still have connection with industry people. And also then I believe I am also quite active in research too. So I've been
Uh-huh.
here anyway. So in long story short, long enough,
Uh-huh.
somehow they have enough experience, especially curriculum development or
Uh-huh.
student-related issue, then also what is going on in industry, technology-related issue, and so on and so on. Then I also served as a department chair before, so I also have some basic understanding of administration side.
Uh-huh.
And then now then I'm one of the member in our department trying to push our curricular change. So
Uh-huh.
because the curricular should be traditional computer science curriculum should be changed. This timing is really I think now is really urgent actually. Unless we change it as soon as possible, then the industry already changed because of the AI and also
Sure.
other actually external factors. The business change and then industry because of AI and also the what is going on in the whole world, like what
That's
happened in the
true.
whole world, like even government policy change, then the
Uh-huh.
relationship between internationals or everything changed. So
Uh-huh.
mainly then the way we educate or computer science students to educate somehow then and I realized changed significantly. So
Uh-huh.
then that's why I'm trying to push in our department, but you could try
Uh-huh.
somehow then make structural change, not just adding more course or replacing
Uh-huh.
some course and so on, more like a structural change. So we are actually also
Uh-huh.
working on that actually, but then but the change is really difficult. So there are always
Yes.
some people want to resist, they want to keep do as you used to do because it's easy for them.
Easy.
So
Yeah.
yeah, but then the issue basically is if we don't change it, our student will not be able to get a job, and that's the
Mm-hmm.
primary reason we are trying to change because student we graduate several, we actually have more than 2,000 students in our department. In one
Mm-hmm.
department, or more than 2,000 students. In the whole campus,
Wow.
we have 40,000 students. Then,
Wow.
so then imagine basically then 2,000 students basically graduated, we have no job. And this is
Yeah.
a really serious issue.
Yes.
So I believe that thing, if that's really the case, then this is our fault, not the students' fault. Basically, that we don't really graduate the students with the proper skill the industry require.
Mm-hmm.
So that's actually I felt actually is an urgent signal, then urgent like a sign, then we are getting from students, like especially those students graduated couple of years
Mm-hmm.
ago. Then some students, basically really top students, still struggling to get a job. Something
Wow.
actually is wrong, basically. Something went wrong, really, seriously. So that actually the region. Then I also, that's also another region, basically. Then every time, then at even university wide, then they had some kind of meeting basically about this to discuss this how you need to change. Then
Mm-hmm.
I'm usually very interested in. Then I usually volunteer, then have discussion and so on. So our
Mm-hmm.
dean, former dean, actually contact me. Then this one the university in Africa then also wanted to create a new program. I don't know whether it's a new program actually you're also trying to change like we do. Then yeah, of course, like I have some ideas. So then I have actually I will be more than happy to share my ideas.
Yeah,
So that
no.
actually my primary area basically the AI. So
Mm-hmm.
I teach most of the AI course, so including
Mm-hmm.
machine learning, introductions to machine learning and natural language
Uh-huh.
processing, and also
Mm-hmm.
deep learning and computer vision and
Mm-hmm.
so on. So
Wow.
that's my background. That's the
Mm-hmm.
researches as to also the AI, and also I also occasionally teach software engineering, and also
Yeah.
then I also have several projects connected with the industry.
Mm-hmm.
So several students basically join and work on the industry project sponsored by the local company.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
then, so I think, yeah, I think should be enough for
Yeah,
me to
no.
introduce. Unless if you have another question.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So we have one of my friend here, Christoph. He's working with us on the nonprofit side of thing and helping the curriculum development. So I want to make sure. Welcome. Good to see you, man.
Okay,
Uh,
How we doing,
oh,
y'all?
Chris,
Yeah, you want me to
glad.
give a quick introduction, Stefan?
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
just
yeah. Go,
30
go,
seconds.
go, go for it. Yeah.
How you doing, Professor Ru? So my name is Christoph Zephyrin. I currently work as a civil engineer for an environmental and civil engineering consulting firm in New York City. But where my kind of breadth and expertise comes into this is I've been doing research and development for like student project-based learning for
mm,
graduate and undergraduate students at my alma mater, Worcester Polytechnic Institute, all the way on the other side of the world in Massachusetts. And I'm really passionate about being able to build sustainable learning initiatives in Africa, right? So
okay.
that's my whole background to this, and I've been assisting Stefan with developing the curriculum to really make sure that the students that are a part of this initiative can come out with skills that are directly related to being able to build that industry in West Africa and specifically in Cote d'Ivoire, right? Um, yeah, I think
All right. Thank
I,
you.
I do a few other things outside of that, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the main goal
yeah.
right now.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for joining. And Professor Ryu, thank you so much. Like your background will be extremely valuable for us. So we're starting this initiative. So we're starting from scratch. And I'm glad you have experience in curriculum development, administration, because I don't. Yeah, we have I'm of the visionary, like I have the context of the country and the continent and the problems, the challenges that we're facing. But
Mm,
we're gonna rely a lot on you on like, okay, well, how do we adapt or do we create this curriculum in a way that helps these students? Like you
mm,
mentioned earlier, if your students are not getting jobs, it's a big problem because that's
right. Yeah.
ultimately the role of the university. Um, this is like our biggest challenge back home, and that's why we're doing this initiative. We have about 40% unemployment rate. Um, and to top that, we have about there's a
40% unemployment rate
in the country.
not the students.
Uh, yeah, the whole country. So
Oh,
so pretty
oh,
high.
yeah.
And the French did a research. So it's a former French colony. So where French is our first language. The development agency did a research saying that about 80% of the people that are graduating
Mm,
have their skills misaligned with the market. So
yeah.
they people are
That's
not
usually, yeah.
trained. Yeah, that's a very high percentage. People
Yeah.
are not trained for jobs locally or internationally.
Yeah.
So for my experience, when I did computer, well, it's kind of software engineering there, most of it was taught on paper because computers were either not available or not working. Uh, and people, they're still teaching languages like PHP, uh, Visual Basic. So they're quite
Oh.
behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
they're quite behind. So we're
Yeah,
trying to
even US actually, the people develop the system like 50 years ago, then they're still using it, but we don't really teach that thing.
yeah,
So even though they are
e-
using this old system.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think that that's a big problem challenge we have. So we're trying to create a curriculum where when people, so it's a 3-year program. I think you may have seen it in the document, because we do 3-year bachelor degrees because
Mm.
students go to school full time. There's no summer breaks. Um,
Oh, I see.
yeah,
So then is this semester long or quarter or
yeah,
semester,
it
right?
is. It is semester, yes. So they go to school. Actually, they go to school 9 months during the year. So four and a
Also, I
half
see. So
months per
basically the
semester.
summer is basically skipped.
Correct, correct, yeah.
Mm, 3 years.
And then 3 months break and then another one. So we want to get, so I use ChatGPT to get us to, okay, here's a rough idea of what 2 years associate will look like, and then another year for like a bachelor.
Mm.
But I think where we want to rely on your expertise in terms of like, does that make sense? Does the sequencing make sense? Do we have the right classes? Also, is it gonna be, can it be driven, can it be project based driven? Kind of Christopher was mentioning, we want them to be able to just not just take the theory in, because our country has plenty of theory,
Yeah.
but be able to actually once be operational. Because that's the problem
Mm.
companies are telling
Yeah.
us. They're saying,
You know.
we're bringing the students, but then we have to spend another 2 years training them. What's the point
Right.
of
Yeah.
the degree they
Yes.
got?
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we're trying to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for your the introduction, giving me an introduction and some information about the program. And 3 years. So depending on, do you the what is the number of unit you actually for each course? So then when you offer a course or class, then what is the number of units? Is it 3 unit or do you have any kind of unit or quantitative idea of educate the somehow then imply the number of hours the student need to spend and also the credit, number of credit they need to get or something like this? Like we use the unit. So typically the almost every course we offer is a 3 unit. Occasionally we offer like less unit or more unit, but then on the average basically 3 units is most common. That means the student take the one class for the entire semester. So basically, we also a semester system. So then some more is all completely optional. So although we offer the course in summer for only those students trying to graduate faster, but some more is really optional. So the semester long, then our school actually so basically requires students to complete 120 unit total, 4 year long. So your school I think is 3 year long. Then the region actually student also required to take 120 units here is okay, one of the main portion of I mean the course I mean the portion of the credit or unit they spend basically is the GE general education. So general education actually take about 50%, 50% of the coursework. Then remaining 50% are about like for major related subject. So if we cut out somehow, then in our even case too, if you actually cut out the general education significantly, we could actually also make it a 3 year degree program. But then we are not doing it then because multiple reasons. So actually that's why we have a 3 year long program. But your case, like I mean, it's 4 year long, but your case 3 year long. So do you, does your university also require general education?
No, not really.
No. So general
No,
education is all excluded from this program, right?
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. In that case, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
we we
Yeah.
we have like, you have to take maybe like English, which is required. There's like economics and maybe accounting, but like general education like here, not really. I think it's assumed there that you've taken a lot of it through high school.
Mm. Yeah. Well, then, yeah. Here, basically, they are taking those kind of subject course actually okay for about 12 years. So
Yeah. Oh,
they're
yeah.
repeatedly taking the same subject in the upper level and so they can understand better. But then anyway,
Yeah. Yeah.
so yeah, in that case, basically 3 years, I think is definitely feasible.
Mm-hmm.
And then because I from the document you sent me, then I don't
Yeah.
see any like I see only few general education related course, but then
True.
majority
Yeah.
are really major related.
Yeah.
And then 3 year I think is feasible.
Okay. That's good to know. That's good to know. Um, because yeah, I was just even reviewing the courses that I remember I took, like it was like entrepreneurship, French writing. Yeah, but like not to the depth that the United States
Yeah.
does. So which is good for us because it's already then it's geared towards let's get them practical skills. Um, and then we can make it a lot shorter. Yep. So from what I sent you though, trying to sorry, I'm just going to download it and open. Um, any general feedback, and this is completely chat GPT, and so I think we'll love, I don't know if you have maybe like a sample curriculum that you go through, but like we'd love to know, like, is this even making sense? Like, are those the right classes to
Oh, so
prioritize?
this program actually is not the one you created or ChatGPT created? I
Oh, chat
didn't.
GPT created this.
Oh, I didn't know. No wonder somehow a little bit something is somehow then lacking, missing, or misaligned a little bit. I found some of those, so that's why I made a note right here. Okay, that's fine.
Oh,
I think so. I thought that in general, this the sequence and also the course content is not really
mhm.
too bad. It's
Oh, good.
reasonable, but then there are several the element here that logically doesn't make sense. So that's
Yeah.
why I made a comment here. Then I didn't know actually did you create this ChatGPT. I thought this is the curriculum you used already had. And
Oh, then that means it was good then. to
okay,
to
so
fool you. Yeah, no, we like so we're starting this. Let me be clear. We're starting next year, fall of 2026. So this does not exist at all. We're building it
I
from
see, I see.
scratch. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Then I think I think that I feel much better then because you have a freedom, right? Or flexibility, right?
Yeah, we have flexibility,
So
which is great.
okay, so then what do you want to go from here? Do you want me to, because I understood this is actually the existing program then, or this is the program you created, then
Hmm.
you are asking me to give you feedback, but not if that's not the case, then I think I don't know. So basically, then uh, I think
Yeah,
it's still fine. You give us some kind of framework or any structure. So structure wise is not
true.
really that bad. So do you want me to actually give you some the comment I made and based on this curriculum you sent me, right, even though it's created by ChatGPT, or
Yeah,
how do you want to proceed? Okay.
yeah, that could work. And the reason honestly I created this is so I didn't want you to feel like you had to write the whole thing from scratch. So like to ease the burden on you, but
I see.
what is easier for you, like we could go through this and you can give us feedback,
I see. I
or
see.
you can
No,
give us
actually,
maybe the
we could
framework.
actually no. I think if you are fine with it, I'm
Hmm.
more than happy to create from scratch.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't know. Like
Yeah.
we could do that something like that because usually it's very
Mm.
unusual. So if someone create a
Uh,
curriculum from scratch.
yeah,
Okay, so
yeah. Because also we were told that we only have about 10 hours with you. So I assume like uh, I didn't know how long it would take to create it from scratch. So to maximize the
I
time,
I don't
that's
know.
why I
I
started
don't
off.
really care basically how much I will spend. I'm not gonna charge you like $1 million or something like that. I already actually talked to our
Uh-huh,
the former dean. Basically, this is
uh-huh.
just I'm trying to help really.
Oh,
But then
thank you.
if you give me some like what the compensation whatever, I'm fine. But then if
Mhm.
not, then it's still fine actually.
Oh, thank you.
I
Thank
just
you.
like something like this, and I strongly believe we have to do something, especially I mean, this current situation. Then
Yeah.
even in U.S.
Yeah.
So Africa, of course, I think then USS also is is curricular change is really urgent.
Yeah.
And many schools are also already start changing the curriculum.
Yeah.
So you don't want to copy the current curriculum from the any U.S. institution because it's already the curriculum created like several decades ago.
Needs to be changed
Yeah.
anyway, right?
Yes, it
Yeah.
had to be changed anyway.
Yeah.
Then they are actually very actively trying to change. Like it's not only changing couple of courses, they are trying to make transformer structural change.
Mm-hmm.
Because the job related issue is not only our issue. I actually learned from several people and also the industry folks and also those people from that the students. Those students graduate from top school, even Ivy League, they are struggling to find a job.
Wow.
It's not only Costa Fulton; it's a nationwide issue actually.
Yeah.
That is why I think I don't know whether you agree with it, and that is why actually the Trump administration noticed it.
Mm-hmm.
Then that's why they are trying to do something really odd and surprise a lot of people basically, because they already noticed even those top the school graduates are struggling to find a job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm fine basically if you if you are also then fine basically creating this curriculum from scratch. I'm more than happy to do that,
Yeah.
even if it take no, like a lot of hours. That I'm still fine with it. I'm not gonna ask you to audition composition or anything like that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
so
if
but
it's easier, let's
so anyway,
that's
so yeah,
yeah.
then can I share because this is basically the
Yeah.
comment I made based on the one you sent me. So because I
Okay,
didn't really
perfect.
quite understand. So
Yeah.
now I'll share my screen.
Mm-hmm.
Then also what I'm actually trying to do in our department. So basically, I'm actually doing something a little bit some experimental. I have some experimental course I created and I started teaching in the spring, and
Mm-hmm.
actually I learned something really interesting from the course. So anyway, so let me just review the comment. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
go over my comment based on the curriculum structure you sent me. So
Mm-hmm.
then here, then fluent coding, and this one, yeah, of course, ideal. So we industry still need someone who can write program really well.
Mm-hmm.
No question
Mm-hmm.
about it, regardless of AI. But then here, basically, what is changed like, compared to what happened in the past. In the past, the industry they are willing to actually train at least 1 or 2 years to actually improve their coding skill to a certain level, so they can be
Mm-hmm.
useful.
Mm-hmm.
But now then, because we have the ChatGPT or GitHub Copilot, then it's so good actually. Then and the senior software engineer in the industry, they prefer using AI than training the fresh graduate. Because training people really hard actually, and
Mm-hmm.
especially training coding extremely difficult, especially those who have no talent and those who have a degree. Then it's very difficult. That's why they are willing to, in the past, spend at least 2 3 years to improve their coding level to actually to help them actually contribute to the project.
Mm-hmm.
But now then those senior software engineer, architect, designer in the industry, they don't want to do something like this because they
Mm-hmm.
realize AI tool actually write program better than those fresh graduate. So they
Mm-hmm.
actually prefer those people, those actually the people with the high level coding technique. So what do you mean by high level coding technique? They don't really care too much about low level coding, modular level or unit level coding anymore. So
Mm-hmm.
modular level, unit level means suppose you have a software system for one feature you have to implement. Then that feature somehow then require like can be implemented using one package or library or module. Then that can be easily taken care of by the AI within actually minute. And
Mm-hmm.
on the other hand, if they have to give that kind of project or a programming assignment and programming task to the fresh graduate, then it will take several months. Okay, or even best programmer, it will take a couple of weeks. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why those senior software engineers, they cannot wait because they can get the answer right away. Then why they have
Mm-hmm.
to bother like contacting the fresh graduate?
Mm-hmm.
So that is why I think that if you really want to develop the new program, we don't want to spend too much time on low level coding, teaching low level. We want to, from the beginning, we want to focus on relatively higher level. And then starting maybe with the, first we cover the basic ideas. Uh, this is basically what we actually do in our department. That's why actually I'm really frustrated now. we spent 2 years to teach basic programming. 2 years. Then by the
Wow.
time they graduate, they barely understand the application level skills, barely. Then those graduate, they don't know, they don't really, many of them, they graduate with those the very weak scale to develop really fully functional system they can deploy it in the cloud or or server and so on. Because they don't really, they didn't have enough time to learn those things because they
Yeah,
spent too much time in
On
learning
the
the
basics.
foundation, like very low level coding and
like
so on.
loops and all that.
Right, yeah, loops and linked list and finding mean value, max value, which is completely useless anymore because you have all the library right there. Then why you bother with creating linked list to find mean value, max values? Because industry, even industry doesn't do it unless they have
Yeah,
to write really low level coding using C and C++. Yeah, then they may do it. But then how many jobs they require? Very little, very
yeah,
tiny.
yeah.
The only tiny basically in the hardware company or defense company, then they still use that kind of thing, but because it's mission critical system. But majority of school, I mean the industry, like even big tech, Google and all those things, they don't really require a student to write, I mean people to write C and C++. If they have to write C and C++ program, they will probably find extremely good programmer. And they can probably find like maybe only handful and then ask them to write that kind of program, not just any the software developers. So that is why I think basically starting covering teaching and C++ is joke. But yeah, it doesn't mean like useless because it's still useful for some sector and some area. Then also good basically if you have plenty of time, then you don't have to worry about like graduating in 6 years or 10 years. But you only have a 4 year or 3 year, then you have so many other things is more important than industry, directly relevant to the industry. You don't have time. Yeah, so that is why I think the better idea basically either you begin with a Python or JavaScript. Or even Python alone actually maybe even good idea, I think. Then because the mastering one language actually takes time. So although I didn't really, yeah, now I understand because the core fluent coding in Python, Java, C++ is mastering impossible in our, at least in our school, impossible. Because reality is our students are not able to master any of those. So why we spend so much time? Because mastering one language takes so long time. So you have to keep writing same program like several years until they graduate. Then finally they can claim, oh, I know like enough about one language, then I can write like almost every type of application if I am asked. So that is why I think the better idea is to just ask them to write one languages. But then second language, yeah, then what happens to second language? Industry want to. Second language actually is, you can just leave it as more like elective. They take it only when necessary. Because some industry, they want a Java programmer. Yeah, then that's fine still, because if they notice this student basically is so good at Python programming, because programming in general, in principle, basically the same. The difference basically the syntax and the way you write programs is slightly different. But then if one person is really master one language, they can easily pick up another language in no time. But if they don't master any of the languages, they are not good at any language. they are not very basically not able to join the project. So that is why I think maybe your idea just to use one language, then help them master that language, and if other language, if you want to teach other language, then maybe just offer one course. Maybe I don't like C++. I will just eliminate C++. Okay, C++ is only for special peoples, not necessarily everyone. And if they really need to write C++, yeah, they can learn C++. Then it's just matter of time. Just they can still write program, but then maybe making it either Java or JavaScript elective, because Python actually, because you also focus on you want to focus on AI, then the default language for AI is Python basically. So then
Question, Professor.
yes.
So let's say we have a student that's coming from secondary school and they're very strong in math and science, right? Is there something that we can give as like an introductory so that they understand programming languages as a whole? Do you think that that's beneficial in this sense?
Yes, I think if we actually you offer the language like Python, then we don't really only teach syntax. We
Uh-huh.
teach actually the basic syntax and structure, and also then help basically teach how to write the relatively larger scale and complex software using Python.
Okay. Okay.
So
And then
then from the beginning, basically, then they will be able to understand basically then what do you mean by computing and what they have to learn and other things and so on. So
okay.
this one
I
will
see.
probably take, yeah, in the first semester, they will probably have to learn the basic of Python so they can practice a little bit, get familiar with the syntax and some modules because there are so many library or packages in Python. So almost like every feature you're trying to implement is already there in Python.
Mhm.
So then that way they get familiar in the first semester, the Python, the second semester, then they write a little bit more complex program and so on and so on.
Got
So
it.
I think that may be a good idea, but JavaScript is also very good language actually too. But I like JavaScript better than Java, but then the reason actually also we cannot ignore Java because the many company actually they develop system long time ago using Java. So they have to maintain the system written in Java. Though they usually also want to hire someone who can write Java program and so on. So this actually, yeah, that's why I think we have to think about like whether you offer Java, JavaScript as a elective. But I think still starting with the one language, then throughout the entire the year, I mean, the program, and then it'll be, I think, it's better ideas. And also the regarding your AI, I think you also wanted to focus on. Do you want to also then focus on AI as a area in this program? AI.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
So is it AI really important in the local business?
It it is right now. It isn't like it's not as well. uh, It's slowly getting adopted.
Mm.
But I think I was thinking of AI more from a perspective of like, could they help them be better programmers? Um,
Okay, I see.
I don't know, because I guess there's several layers to it. It's like leveraging AI tools versus like building AI capabilities. You know what I mean?
Mm-mm. Yeah, so then, so basically, the local industry still need the program, the people with this web and mobile application
Yes,
background, right? So
correct.
yeah, yeah, because I think I understand because even US actually, then we still cannot ignore this, even though we
Yes,
have all kinds of AI, then everyone talking about AI, but still, this is really important skill,
yeah,
especially
yeah,
industry.
and for mobile it'd be mostly Android.
Right, right. Mobile
I
or Android,
iPhones are
or yeah,
expensive.
right, right. Then
Yeah.
and also then AI
Mm-hmm,
feature maybe, right?
mm-hmm,
Or
mm-hmm,
AI feature or AI applications.
mm-hmm,
So this actually is also still this I think is also a trend in our in the US too. So basically now then even though AI, everyone talking about AI, but then reality is there are different kind of job. The job application development job like software engineering job in US, and also
mm-hmm,
then because of AI then and other things, and then we also have a job title called AI engineers or machine learning engineer or data scientist and so on. Those are
mm-hmm,
actually those positions are not really application development position. Those positions
mm-hmm,
really demand very in-depth understanding of math and algorithm, so basically those AI algorithm. So that is
mm-hmm,
why even our school basically the only around 10% of students can actually qualify,
mm-hmm,
and they are even though they have taken course. So we offer all these different AI related courses, AI course and
mm-hmm,
also machine learning. We have the vast number of AI course, but then that doesn't mean they fully understand what they have learned because it
mm-hmm,
requires really strong mathematical background and algorithmic background and computational background because we use high performance computing like using not the GPU based computing and using like cluster based computing and so on. We have all the infrastructures and also sometimes use a cloud, the AWS cloud. But then
mm-hmm,
what I noticed basically not everyone are able to understand what they have learned and apply. So from my
mm-hmm.
experience in our school, like maybe around 10%, they can
Wow.
actually find a position in really the job with the AI engineer, machine learning engineer, data scientist. Majority of
Yeah.
them actually they are basically the application developer or software engineer that doing some mobile and app or some database programming. basically there are program basically DB programming. We call it data engineer actually. So this is also very common job too. Data engineer basically they write program using database, accessing database, and parsing, pulling. There's a lot of programming work right there. Okay, so very time consuming. So then also then AI and ML and data scientist job theirs, but very tough to get in. Because industry basically when they get an interview, they have an interview, they don't ask anything about Python programming. Because AI application, especially when you try to implement one of the AI idea, when you write Python program, you already write a couple of lines of code. It doesn't require many lines of code to actually develop one or implement one AI features. Then that's why basically the people, the industry hiring those AI machine learning engineer, basically then they don't ask question like, okay, can you write Python program? No, okay. Although they all have to write Python program, but then programming is very simple, relatively simple. But what is not simple basically is because they usually are asked to solve problem. Instead of writing program, basically solve, okay, I have this kind of business feature. Business is actually the process of problem. Can you solve this problem using AI? Then in order to solve that kind of problem, then they need to actually from this have this proper background. And particularly like Bayesian math included linear algebra, calculus, statistics, and probability theory. It's essential. So that is why then once they have this background and have basic programming skill, yeah, then they can actually really then solve their problem. So that's why they are very tough in hiring those, or very selective hiring those people, especially for this kind of position. And then they usually ask a mathematical related question, mainly, not the programming, not Python, and so on. So this is really a misconception because our students are a lot of students are confused. But even though, if as long as they can actually create the AI-led application using Python without really fully understanding the math and algorithm, so AI, there are a lot of AI algorithm, basically AI algorithm, and they think they can get a job, but actually it's not. But then how when that still that kind of knowledge is useful? Yeah, when they develop mobile web application, then if they have to add a feature of AI, they don't need to understand math and everything like that. They just need to use the library. They can plug in the library into the application, then basically run. Yeah. This is actually the easier. This is way easier.
Yeah.
Easier.
So
yeah.
In terms of application, what basically what I'm hearing is we can go deep into learning AI machine learning data, but realistically in like a real world sense and being able to apply it day one after graduation, being able to just use AI features may be more use case and to be able to be used.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So that's why I think do you think your student can really fully understand, I wouldn't say like basic math, basically this is fully understand these three subjects of math and also AI algorithm, then they can handle intellectually with also that even also it require precision too, not only intellectual. Someone have to concentrate and spend enough amount of time to finally understand in and out. Then they are able to actually solve really like in this case basically that they can solve business problems using AI. So then what is the difference between this and this? It's very different. Between this case, basically something like I don't know. I have one example, and I have a local company. Okay, then contact me. Then they are the local company is more like board manufacturers. They have their like electronic board they manufacture, and they've been manufacturing that board for many years with several people. But I look at it, the issue of the problem I saw basically after I visit the company, basically then those entire manufacturing process all manuals. Then they have a CAD designer, then design the CAD, the board, and also they get the customer input, the order, then basically trying to match, then and so on. Then without using AI, then it has to be manual. So they cannot even write. They have a website too. Then, but there's no way to actually automate their entire business process. So because none of them can do it. But then if someone have this strong background on this, they can actually automate their entire business process, even manufacturing process too. Because there are several AI technology they can use, and they can suggest, okay, for this problem, you can solve this one, you can solve that. If it doesn't work, then they can suggest, because there are so many algorithms, AI algorithms. Someone works, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And depending on the situation, someone should be able to understand why it's not working, why it works, and so on. And it's only possible when they have this proper, like solid background on this. That is why like Google, Amazon, those big tech hire this kind of position by checking whether they have this background or not. So that's why our school actually, I think those 10% of students actually taking my class, they get a job. Those they actually got the AI engineer, machine learning engineer. Their salary, of course, is really super high compared to applicant developer, because it's a really difficult job, and so on. So in that case, so your case, actually, then I think you may want to focus on one of those or both. Especially you said that there may be one really brilliant student then who may be able to handle this. Then we can also try this option too. If actually then you have a company then or industry that has the kind of demand.
Yeah, and that's a tricky part, because I think because we're very slow on adoption over there. So
Oh,
like
okay.
I don't think the market can absorb AI
I see.
engineers yet.
Yeah,
Can you hear
then
me?
in that case, actually these two may be reasonable ideas.
Yeah, and
But
the other
I think
challenge. Oh,
go
sorry.
ahead, Stefan. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Stefan.
I was gonna say the other challenge we have too is like, so I mean, you have students that are coming from non-tech background, like as in like kids here grew up with iPad, computers. They're usually generally familiar with this. A lot of kids don't have computers at home or laptops.
Oh,
So that's another consideration. And the other challenge also is like they're very strong. There's a lot of strong students in math, but it's our education system is very much like just memorize and tell me what you learn.
I see.
So
So yeah,
there's not a
then
lot of problem
yeah,
solving,
right.
and that's
So,
gonna be
but
a
if
big problem.
right, if they are really strong in maths, whatever the region, and when they take a really math class, they do really well. Then you find the one thing I noticed actually interesting is those people are really strong background in math, but then
Mhm.
when they see the application of those maths, this is actually the
Yes.
AI fundamental, especially those is the actually application of those. This.
Hmm.
So we apply what they've learned in these three courses, math course, we apply that math to AI problem, AI algorithm. So what I know is
Mm.
interesting. Basically, those people who have learned this math, then when they took this course, they didn't like this math really much, even though they did really well. But by the time they take a really serious machine learning or AI course, especially they require mathematical idea, they
Mhm.
actually are very excited. Finally, you're like, oh my gosh, finally I have now learned and why I had to learn all these things. Then they actually blame those instructors. Why they didn't really tell them basically that when this can be useful, how they can apply it, and so on, so on. Because they were
Mhm.
struggling. They struggle so much when they took even our students basically struggle every time they take this course. They struggle. So even
Mhm.
the computer science student easily get A or GPA 3.5 in computer science subject. Whenever they take math course, they get C and D. And because they are not motivated, they don't really know why they are learning those math.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so anyway, so
Well,
related to this, actually, I have actually recently I started teaching a course. We call it the Applied AI.
mm,
Applied AI. Then we have computer science course, CPSC 254. And this is an applied AI course, then does not require any prerequisite.
mm,
But then I cover actually, I don't cover it. Yeah, I occasionally mention about this related math, but I don't really require them to really fully understand and use it. But only mainly cover like AI features, mainly AI features, like AI
mm.
features, then
And
ideas.
okay, well, and what do you mean by AI features? Just wanted to
AI
clarify.
feature like idea. Let's say, for example, like okay, we have a camera then actually can detect the peoples or object in the camera, right? So we call it as a computer vision. So then even the Tesla autonomous vehicle, then the reason the Tesla is able to drive without a driver because the Tesla has a lot of camera, and then the Tesla use computer vision technology to identify the object and recognize what the object is, where the object is located, and so on. So that's a subject we call it computer visions. But high-level idea computer vision is relatively easy to understand. But if you go in depth, okay, how does it work? Then it's not because we need to use math. But then if I explain the idea of computer vision in very high level, then actually then let them use a library because there are so many library, open source project library they can use readily available. It works really well. It's really very accurate. Then they love it actually because they don't have to learn math, but they understand the ideas. But then occasionally I mention, okay, by the way, then aren't you interested in knowing like why it's working? Some of them say yes. Can you explain why it's working? I understand the idea, but then I don't quite still understand why it works. Then I gradually like introduce, okay, by the way, then you learned this something like that. Do you remember anything like that? Then briefly introduce some basic idea, mathematical idea. Then stop there because if I go even further, then they will be lost. Then they will lose their interest and so on. I know for sure. So so in this course, like what I noticed quite interesting. Basically, those students taking this course doesn't even have really very good programming background. They may not necessarily have taken all this math course, but they have basic math understanding, of course. And then I cover very, very high level computer vision, mainly basically computer vision and generative AI, like how can you generate pictures or voice using AI? Then also, how can you create ChatGPT, chatbot like a ChatGPT? What is the idea and something like this? Those kind of things usually then I cover, and also machine learning. Then when you have the multiple data, then how we can then basically classify this data into certain category and so on and so on. Then once you have a data set, then how you find the function out of data set, very high level, then so they can understand because then without really getting into math detail, algorithmic detail, but then what I noticed basically many of them they are able to understand because it's really conceptual thing. Then let them use basically ChatGPT to write program. Because even writing program from scratch for them, especially no background, is very difficult. But unless they are familiar with the coding, so because unless they have learned the basic coding somewhere, so then those people who have basic understanding of coding, they have no problem using ChatGPT. So they write program using ChatGPT and then try to understand the program generated by ChatGPT, then implement one of the features. So this kind of idea, I think maybe actually relevant to this too, this area, because AI feature, we focus on AI features. Then later on, when they learn the mobile, the app development subject, front and back. So basically mobile, web and mobile here, then there are actually even web development, there are two subject, web applications, two area. Basically, we call it front end
Backend, yeah.
and backend.
Yep.
And they are not we are not talking about just simply HTML. So especially the front end basically doesn't really, of course they have to write like HTML, JavaScript, that kind of thing, but it's not like we used to do in like several 10 years ago. Then this front end also technology has changed significantly, and this require very intensive coding too. Like front end, we have some kind of front end framework, and require like JavaScript code. Very non-trivial JavaScript. Then backend, of course, is traditional. So basically, then use a framework, game framework, using some language like JavaScript, Python, then also database, and so on and so on. So I think this can be one course, and this is another course. Once they learn, and maybe also the mobile too, because the mobile is really essential, whether it's Android or Mac or those three courses. Once they have to learn it, then adding this kind of feature will be very easy. they don't have to actually have full understanding of the math and so on, just simply to add the feature, because they don't have to implement everything from scratch. They use a library, basically just download the library and then install the library, then and implement the basically the write basic Python program or even JavaScript program to call the library, and that's it. Then and even they can actually then develop system that actually has a capability of computer vision or generative AI, even generate sound or generate pictures, and also generate text and so on.
Hmm.
So so if the majority of company, the local company, they want to develop some kind of application using web and mobile, then and still they cannot really ignore AI features. Then they I think most likely they love this AI, and this is actually what I'm actually currently working on. Because even here, then large company, yeah, no question, they have all the staff members, programmers, but then in this Orange County here, then we have many small business. Then they have an employee, then they have an employee with the computer science background, but then their employee is not really that very high level. Like they very commonly they lack essential skill, even for even web and mobile, because those top company, large company, they sucked in most of the top talent. Then only remaining relatively have a low level skill, then not really good skill, then they end up finding a job in the very small company. They're trying to survive, and they actually they have a serious issue actually. So they actually also want to use AI, but then none of their employees are able to do something like that. They barely can handle even the the traditional web and mobile development. Even their employees are not able to even do that kind of programming well. So we have that kind of situation too. So it's not only in Africa, I think, so even US too, especially those small companies.
So, question about the math, like, would we still require the students to
They,
to to
I,
take
I think
those?
that, right, right. I think I have an idea basically here. Then we actually in our University of Castle Fullerton, the all these three maths are required. Whether they do well or not, whether they understand what this, we just require them because
Oh,
we
interesting.
require by because ABET accreditation.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because ABET accreditation, like our school, our degree, bachelor's degree in computer science, accredited by ABET. And this is very important for our school because we are not really Ivy League. Ivy League, they don't care because they still industry still hire them.
Yeah, they have a name, so they don't have
Yeah,
to
right,
always
right.
worry
But
about.
then a school like us or not like Ivy League level, industry doesn't want to hire anyone from non-accredited school.
True.
So that is why this is actually essential. Okay, so, but our ABL accreditation team, they visit every 6 years. So we will invite. I mean, we're gonna have a team next year. Every 6 years
Uh-huh.
we accredit it. So now we have 6 years. You're qualified. Then,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
then by the national standard, whatever. Then we're gonna have another one next year. So this ABET accreditation team require computer scientists and engineers, all this. So whether our student can handle this subject or not, honestly, not everyone is able to understand, unfortunately. So, but still, they have to take it. So they get C and D, then passing grade is D. F is failure, but then passing grade is D. So as long as they get D, like what they are just D basically means they don't understand really. They just heard about and they get D usually. And but still, yeah, this is required. So
Yeah.
if you don't have that
So,
kind of pressure like accreditation, I don't think you need to do. You need to require them basically. If some
mm,
student have this background, that's good. But if not, then unless we can teach unless something like this, like only applied math,
mm,
aiming for AI actually.
Yeah.
That's actually good enough because the AI require all of this.
Yeah.
So then what you can do basically, okay, then because the linear algebra is like whole long book, thick book, then usually cover entire semester by math professor. They
Yeah.
spend like so much time on something not necessarily application side,
Applicable. Hmm.
not necessarily applicable. So, but real applicable area here is not that many. So we extract only
Good.
the essential element of the linear algebra, essential element of calculus, essential element here, and put it in one course, applied AI. Then we teach them one semester. That I think is good enough.
It's taking just the best out of all the math that you would need to directly apply it
Right to
be
AI. Yep.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
funny
which
thing
is
is, yeah, funny thing is what I noticed recently is those the essential math of that should be applied directly to AI actually can be applicable to many engineering job too.
Yeah.
That's
oh,
kind of really
interesting.
interesting. That's why I
Yeah.
noticed like, oh, that's interesting. Yeah, that's what they in engineer need. Basically, almost identical to what the AI engineer, AI scientists need.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good to know because we don't want them to take the classes for the sake of taking them unless it has a direct application
Yes.
to what they're actually going to be
Yeah.
building.
And also still understand better because they see the reason why they learn this math.
Yeah.
Yeah, then yeah, we have a math, right? Why you are learning it, that you can connect with the applied AI. Okay, so then yeah, eventually, let's say you have a let's say vector and matrix right here. They're gonna learn vector matrix. Okay, they're gonna ask question like, when do you think we can use vector matrix? Yeah, by the way, we have this machine learning algorithm that basically calculated basically based on the vector matrix. That's why you need to create a vector matrix and you multiply them. then you get this outcome.
Yeah,
Fantastic,
because
isn't it? They
I
actually
did.
yeah, they understand basically. That's why I can realize that when I say that I teach this course, that's exactly what I do.
Good, because
They
I did
really well.
vectors and I did vectors and matrix in high school. Never used it ever.
I know the many students basically also have that kind of understand say that too.
Yeah.
But vector matrix is almost everything in AI.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Okay, that's good to know.
So remember this the large language model like ChatGPT. Majority of computation basically vector multiplication and matrix multiplication.
Really?
90% of calculation requires GPU. All about vector multiplication and matrix multiplication.
Huh. Guess that knowledge wasn't
Makes sense.
useless
It's like
after all.
large data sets extracting and then getting the best. Huh.
Yeah, then I'll multiply. Load it as a matrix, multiply them.
Interesting.
In computer vision, also vector matrix, vector multiplication, and matrix multiplication. Computer vision too.
That is very interesting. Yeah, because like we do pretty advanced math in high school. So those kids will come in having all those fundamental matrices,
I think, yeah,
vectors,
then in that case, actually,
integrals.
right, then they will love it actually. Then when they see the applications out of math, they actually will like it.
Yeah.
That's good.
Then truly understand how AI actually feature works. So that's actually my idea. I don't know. So whether you if you like it, then maybe we can. Otherwise, I think in general, like other area like database is important, of course. Network is important. Operating system is important. So we can still cover those subjects and data structures. Then data structure and also the algorithm are still important, but then we don't want to focus on uh, the way we teach the data structure in our school. Basically, is still traditional way. Then I don't think it's a good idea because it's just that's why they spend like so many semesters to make sure they fully understand in and out of data structures. But when they go to industry, they don't really do something like that actually. They all they need to do basically they need to understand basic idea of data structure, then they are able to utilize the data structure. That's it. They are not going to be asked to develop create the one data structure from scratch. Nobody does it actually. But then the way we teach it, we require everyone create data structure from the scratch. Of course, it's a good idea. Of course, if you have plenty of time, then and so on. But then you are actually spending so much time, then losing other opportunity because there are other opportunities is a little bit urgent.
So is there a way to understand how they work without having to create them from scratch?
Like if you use Python, yes. So if you use a language like Python, you don't create anything from scratch. You just use the idea of data structures. If you use C++, you gotta create everything from scratch. If you use C and C++, there's no library right over there. So you have to create them from scratch.
Well, and deal with
Yeah,
your own
then
pointers and all.
yeah, eventually then you have solid understandings, but then what you lose basically you're losing like a time and effort. then you could
Mm-hmm.
spend something else really.
Yeah. So one of the things we're trying to do too is we want the student every semester to be able to build something tangible. I think I was
Yeah, yeah.
giving the
I
example.
actually I noticed that too, but then that can be. I think you need to really very carefully design that kind of project. For
Okay.
example, the first semester build the app website. I don't know whether we can do it. But yeah, you
Oh,
can do
interesting.
it only if you stream like what then you can if you only allow them to use some kind of HTML,
Yeah.
then yeah, then it's possible. But then anything more than HTML and then I don't think they can do because
Mm,
the interesting thing basically web development, any web development, mobile development actually require many computer science or upper division computer science object.
mm.
So you
If
require
we pair
knowledge about.
if we pair that with AI tools though, could they do it faster?
Yeah, if you just allow them to use AI, then okay, create this web page for me. Yeah, AI will
Mm-hmm.
do it very fast. Yeah, then they can do, but then when they have an issue, okay, the AI create a web page. If it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't work, and they won't be able to debug, but then they can still ask question then to the AI, then they can still yeah, I think if you use AI, yes, they can, but they won't be able
Okay.
to understand fully, like they won't be able to understand the application they created,
Mm.
but they can still
Would
create.
would would appropriate like pivot from that be okay, the AI would create the website, but then you also use AI to understand the debugging process and understand the different parts that you would need to use if you were to do it from scratch, right? I think
Yes, yes. That actually, I've been in our department. I've been advocating we should do that too, but we don't do it. But then, actually, I think that's actually the ideas. Yes,
yeah.
we gotta go
Mm-hmm.
use that kind of ideas. But then
Mm.
for first semester project, then I think expecting really complicated AI, I mean, the application is really probably too much. Very
Okay.
simple application they can create and can see and then oh it's working and visible and that kind of thing, and I think it's a good idea because don't you then let them motivate, oh yeah, this is I can create something like this like that, then even though they don't necessarily fully understand, then they can still try to understand, but then I
Mm-hmm.
think first time, so eventually they will be able to understand it the later.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
if
you
they're
may be
allowed
able
to
to
use
use
AI,
AI.
then yeah, it's feasible. Yes, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
I
exactly
think
that.
it's a good idea actually. So then yeah. Okay, I don't understand this basically the record keeping system. I don't know. This is really really, really
Oh,
was
it was just a random
yeah, I know it was very very
project
very
idea.
okay. So yeah,
Yeah.
then
So
Java is also kind of really then I think as you already mentioned here, then you gotta choose the language. I think so maybe do you have a chance? Can you actually somehow then get some kind of survey what language they use in the local company?
um
Then maybe a good idea. Basically, the type of language, I mean, the programming language they commonly use in the local company.
yeah, what I've heard is PHP, but I'll double check with my friends that work in the
Oh,
industry and
PHP.
get back to you. Yeah, I
Yeah.
heard
Then
PHP.
so yeah. Then if they use HPG, then that means they have a whole system to maintain. Then okay. So, but I think that still the Python is okay. Then also JavaScript is
Mm,
okay because the PHP framework, even modern PHP framework, actually is very similar to Python framework and JavaScript framework. So
mm-hmm.
some students who have really who understand Python-based web framework or JavaScript-based web framework, they can easily quickly learn PHP framework and still can contribute to the project for the company, I think. But then the teaching PHP in the curriculum possible, but then I don't know. So then industry also need to be adaptable, right? To if they're
Yeah,
using PHP, then they may probably if they
They may
hire the
change.
yeah, they may change because of students.
yeah,
The
sure.
still recommend. By the way, the PHP is old. We learned this one from school. Then the Python JavaScript is modern, and
Yeah,
like every other country, they do that, especially US. Then they
yeah,
can suggest the changing it. Okay, right?
true.
So, but anyway, so that actually then here then first year then digital literacy. I'm not sure what it actually means, but I know like Beijing math programming. Yeah, so I think the web front and back end can be actually taught in second year, starting second year.
Okay.
First semester and second semester, basically, then first semester of second year, basically front end, and second semester of the second year, basically the back end. And once they
Okay.
are able to create a web application using front end back end framework, then they are actually ready. They are ready for the industry job, actually. So if they understand in and out of that actually application, they develop using front end framework and back end framework. Because
Yeah.
understanding front end framework, back end framework require basic understanding of operating system, network, database, and many other many other area actually.
Yeah.
Computer organization.
So what would they be doing year one then?
Year one, basically they learn basic stuff.
Okay.
Basic stuff like applied math, and also then maybe even starting with this intro to programming Python. The first semester, I think teaching this applied math in the first semester possible only if they actually either they are taking math course at the same time or they have already learned basic math in high school. Then the applied math is possible in the first semester. Otherwise, then maybe good idea to push into next semesters until they learn at least basic of this, basic of that, basic of that. Or if they don't never learn this, but then try to teach only the essential element of the math for AI, then it can be still difficult. But then it's ideal basically those people already have learned some basic math in high school, then I think have no problem. So we can
Yeah.
you can actually even teach applied math in the first semesters.
Mm-hmm.
Then they take this applied AI something like this in second semesters because they understand basic math here. Then maybe then the second year then they gradually learn the other subject like a web or mobile, and also the other thing like database and operating system, network, cybersecurity. Then everything else is all fine. And then the third year maybe they probably want to introduce machine learning actually. Then last year three, because machine learning means if they really want to offer a course like machine learning, that means they are really serious in machine learning algorithm, which will require really, strong math and so on. Then because this is different from applied AI I introduced right here. Because here then we don't, although we talk about machine learning or computer vision or thing, but it's very high level. High level, so almost anyone can understand actually. But then once they take this serious machine learning course, then it's not really high level anymore. Okay, so it's more like a little bit low level, mathematical level, algorithmic level, and so on. So I think it makes sense that they take this if you decide to offer this kind of course during the year three, either first semester of the year three or second semester of year three, and so on. But that is still fine because the student can still develop application with the AI feature because they learn Python, they learn basic AI using from this applied AI course. They know how to use AI library and so on. So this is only for someone who are very serious in AI machine learning. Really.
Yeah. And the challenge we may have too is like we don't have professors that can teach machine learning.
Oh, then
That's
yeah,
another thing.
in that case, just forget about it. Like let them just learn from internet, like YouTube. There are a lot of
Yeah.
YouTube actual resources too. Then there are even
Yeah.
most of school they offer free free lectures and so on.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, if you don't have any faculty to teach machine learning, yeah, then it will be very difficult. So if
Yeah.
this is the course that not really anyone can teach.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
the ones want to have some really decent training and understanding, and they can teach. Okay, then final semester machine. Yeah, we have a student machine learning. This is also I think useful, especially for the deploying their application on the server. So the could be cloud service or high performance computing infrastructure and so on. So today the local company they use server or cloud or what?
A mix, but I would
Mix.
say yeah, cloud's becoming more and more popular, but
Okay,
still quite a
then
bit of on-prem.
yeah. In that case, I think we may want to teach this subject at least the first semester of third years. They have to actually learn basic of idea of the server and how they can deploy application they develop and run on their local machine, but in the server side. They usually it's not trivial actually if they don't have experience. They require some the exercise and understanding and so on. Yeah, software engineering, yes, this is easy subject. So software engineering maybe even start. The taught in second year actually. Software engineering is not really sophisticated, so it's really conceptual thing. AI and ethics. Do you want to teach AI and ethics?
I know really.
I don't know. Yeah,
Not
that's
really.
what I'm thinking too. Like
Just
it's
an idea.
basically yeah, we also we have a course, but then since you have only 3 years then semester, then
Yeah.
this kind of subject is good to have, but not necessarily essentials.
Yeah.
Yeah, then industry intern, this is really important. I think the final semester, I think this one. So then if this is ideally educated, then if they can find an internship at the local companies, ideas, or you just look for, I don't know, like I think nowadays there are several companies they study like a micro intern.
Yeah.
So there are several companies actually have business then offering this micro intern. Then basically then they get the project from local company. I'm talking about in the mainly US. I don't know like whether like a student from Africa they can also apply this micro intern. Maybe not. Maybe possible because this online internet based company. Then they actually have a bunch of project. They received from local company or some company. Then and split the project into small the like a small task, and give this task to student apply for intern. So to help those students get the industry experience. So this kind of idea, I think, is really, I think, is good idea and valuable because otherwise, then they have to get a job offer from the local company. Then it's usually difficult. Or another idea is this is my idea. I'm actually trying to experiment right this day. Then also it's working and it's pretty well, but then really not large scale. But if you have someone actually contact a local company, and then just tell them we will help you. Okay, we're not gonna charge you, but we'll help you. With our students, basically, student will be able to develop this kind of application. They will help your business. In return, student get experience. And in the end, they may want to hire them. Basically, if they like him, then they hire. So we have this kind of program in our school. It works pretty well. So in our case, then sometimes we help a local company for no compensation, but the majority basically we help the local company, then they donate some money.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then also many students actually they hire by the company.
Yeah, my school
Yeah.
does the same,
They
has
like
the
it.
same model as well.
If they like them, they hire them. Otherwise, goodbye. Then, but they still get experience, the real world experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, this kind of experience is actually really essential. Then more important than any project idea, like project-based learning, whatever. Then like everyone nowadays try and have been trying in any school, and it doesn't really. It's still better, but then it's not as actually it's not really as good as this real intern or working. I mean, getting experience from real company.
Yeah.
So our students basically they don't really care. They used to care, but because when the market is very good, then they get job very quickly. Then they don't want to do something like this because unless they paid. Now then they're fine because then no pay is fine because as long as they get they know they can experience, they just volunteer like so many of them. So I have a couple of projects, but then the applicant number of students apply for this so many, so then so I have to select and I feel terrible because those students are actually trying to get experience then, and we couldn't really accommodate all of them.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good idea. One other thing they could do too is, and that's what's unique about our university. There's a lot of problems related to industries locally, like development projects, for example, that they could work on that. And I think that's why I feel like AI could be very valuable. Like, for example, farmers that don't have a lot of
Oh,
farmers are not educated. So the crops could die and they have no
Yes.
idea why.
Yeah,
So like,
actually, I think this is then you definitely want to have this course. I'm more than happy to share my material too. Like, if you really want to, this
uh-huh.
idea, this course will be sufficient.
Mm,
Whether you can believe or not, I actually this is my second semester teaching. Majority of students are able to understand. They can write program.
good.
I allow them to use ChatGPT too in this the course. They write program. Then yeah, like they do all kinds of really complicated modeling, and also then even computer vision, and they customize like language model like ChatGPT. Then if like they download the pre-trained language model, then download it and customize it based on their text data.
Mm,
Then they create like AI advisor, or AI chatbot, or whatever, and so on. So
good.
yeah, in that case, then with this kind of background and web and mobile development skill, then yeah, I think then the students in from the university probably definitely help many local company.
No, good.
But the
Good.
question
Yeah.
here is, do you have a computer? Basically, you said you don't really students usually don't have a computer. That's really basically the issue actually. So the computers.
Yeah. So we're looking, I mean, we're getting donations and all, but like the campus will have computers, but most of the students do not have
Laptop.
laptops at home.
Yeah, that's fine. Oh, yeah, yeah. As long as
So they
campus
they
has a computer, that should be fine.
yeah, so they need to come to the campus to use their
Uh,
computers. Yeah.
do they
And they
then
stay when
do
they
they come
go
to
home,
campus?
everything is on in person and they stay the whole day. That's when we go to school is 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. by the way.
Mm.
It's all day.
Wow, oh, AM to 5 p.m. Wow.
Yeah. So
Wow,
they could
it's very tough, like a
it
military.
it is like military. So like
Yeah.
I had like 15 to 17 classes every semester.
Wow.
Yeah, so they can take a lot of classes because they spend so much time
Okay.
at school.
So as long as school have a computer, I don't think it's a huge issue.
Hmm.
Eventually, like in some point, basically, if they are able to contribute the local company, then help the local company, ask the company to buy a computer.
Yes, yeah. That's a
Because
good deal
laptop
for us.
nowadays is very cheap, really, than cheaper than ever before. So
Yes, that's true.
that's a computer low end is cheap. But then for the AI, yeah, this can be really potential issue. But then
Yeah.
for some
Because
AI, actually, we need really high performance computing. So our school actually, we have no problem. We have a really, really good infrastructure. So if someone want, they can use any GPU they like. So, but it's basically, mm,
yeah, but we might get like our plan is to get maybe like 10 high performing computers for for like specialized thing like AI or engineering work. Um, yeah, just we'll have some that we could do it, not all for now.
I see. Mm. Okay, so
Yeah. But yeah, I'm glad that that class could solve that because there's a lot of problems like that. For example, like people get their crops, their chicken stolen all the time. That's a good computer vision problem.
computer vision pro, they can develop the computer visions.
Yeah, so there's things like that. But yeah, lots of problems to solve that I think AI could help with. So I'm glad you brought that up. Okay, well, I know we're over time. Thank you for staying longer.
This was
Um,
great though. This was so great.
Yeah, it's really good. Really good. So where you did mention you could build a curriculum. So like, is that the next step, or how do we go from
so
here with
okay,
it?
so what do you want me to do? Do you want me
Uh,
to create the sample curriculum based on my ideas, or based on what we have discussed and my ideas? Or if you
uh,
want, then I can do that too.
yeah, I think that would be great. What do you think, Christoph?
I think that works really well. One thing I could do is I can help flesh out the project ideas. And if you just focus on the curriculum, and then the next time we come together, we can see if we can make it mold and have something a little bit more
Yeah,
concrete.
right. Yeah. I think we gotta go through multiple round of evaluation and review where you eventually to come up with the final curriculum. So yeah, if you want, then I can actually create the curriculum from scratch, ignoring this. Yeah, I can still use ChatGPT's the recommendation framework, but because it's not really
Mhm,
that too off from traditional curriculum.
mhm.
Although some of them really like nonsense, basically, but still, I can definitely create a curriculum that I'll share with you next time.
Perfect. Perfect. So when should we meet next time then? How long would you need to do that?
Okay, so uh, how soon do you need?
So we have time. We're hoping to do all the curriculum by the end of the year, by
Oh,
December.
end of the year. Oh, okay. So then,
Yeah.
okay, then we need to hurry. Then, okay, maybe then, uh, October 7th.
Yeah, so in 2 weeks?
So 3 week, yeah, like
Yeah.
a little over
Wait,
two
is that
weeks.
okay? Yeah, that works.
October 7th. Then, if I can come up with the draft version of curriculum before, then I will actually send you the curriculum. Then we can adjust the meeting time.
Perfect. Perfect. So, for my curiosity, Professor, how do we go from the draft curriculum to make it operational? As in, like, it's ready, students can start classes. What are the steps in between? Does that make sense?
In our school, it's complicated, but then I don't know how we can actually implement. You mean implementation of curriculum, right?
Yeah, like, is the next step like creating the class modules, creating the homework, creating the quizzes?
I see, I
Yeah.
see. Oh, that is different story. So basically, creating curriculum doesn't deal with anything about the instructional materials.
Mm-hmm.
Creating curriculum, basically creating curriculum, just something similar to what you share with me after you create the curriculum with the ChatGPT. Something like this.
Mm-hmm.
We call it curriculum.
Mm-hmm.
And the implementation of curriculum, that actually is totally different story because for each of those course, someone have to figure out. You have to have some kind of the instructor first.
Mm-hmm.
Instructor, then based on the instructor, each instructor will create course material.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh, I see.
when they create course material, they have to create syllabus first. Syllabus basically summary of the course. Then they with some kind of more like a the more like a guideline for the course, and also the policy of the course, and then what subject they plan to cover. Then what is the requirement for students, and then how they can get A, B, C, then grading policy, then all university policy, and so they actually include everything in the syllabus. So the syllabus is created by instructors
Mm-hmm.
based on their teaching philosophy, based on their expertise, and so on. Then they create one document. Usually, like it's not really long document, like about 4 to 5 page long. In our case, 4 to 5 page long that cover all the detail. I have we have plenty of example syllabus. Like
Mm-hmm.
creating the syllabus every semester. We'll change the syllabus. So once you have a clear syllabus, then the actually it's only syllabus only having some idea or plan for teaching. Then explain what this course is about, and what kind of subject will
Mm-hmm.
be covered, then what will be student learning outcome after student finish this course, then what they can learn, and then what they can do, something like this. Then after that, actually, then the instructor have to actually develop the lecture materials like a PowerPoint slide and assignment and project and so on.
Exams.
That usually most time consuming part, okay, most time consuming. And every course you have to do that. So if you have,
Mm-hmm.
let's say, 30 course, because 3 years, so basically then 10 course each, then maybe 20 or 30 course, for example, then you have to assume that many number of, not really that many, actually, like, I don't know how many instructors you may have, but then let's say 30 courses, let's say you have 10 instructors or 10 instructors, then each instructor will teach probably multiple course. Then they have to prepare all the course material for the course they will teach before
Mm-hmm.
semester begin. So most time consuming part is basically creating course materials.
Yeah, that's a long process.
Right. Then but then also the instructor, actually finding instructor is another one. So do you have instructors ready, or you hire
No,
them?
not really. We have to hire them. Yeah. So the reason I was asking too is I'm trying to figure out at what point do we start involving them? Um,
Oh yeah,
so
then
like, because
because
I mean, we open September next year, so I'm trying to create a timeline of when what needs
next
to happen
year,
when. Next year,
oh,
next year. Yeah.
September. Oh, that's wow. Okay, that's the.
So we have a year.
Sounds like we don't have much of time. Based on our time here, our time is very very conservative and very slow. So we never imagine the new program offer in the next years. Usually, when you create, I create several program in this in university. Then we usually plan for and it's minimum 3 years to 4 years.
Oh, wow.
Assuming we already have instructors. But without instructor may take like 10 years. I don't know. So we all have the instructor, all the instructor, but then still we have to go through that long process for approval. Then they usually take several years.
Wow.
So, but your
Well,
case, yeah, I'm very
yeah,
surprised.
we have 1 year, so
Oh,
make magic happen.
But then you have to actually hire the instructors then first.
That's right. That's right. And we have to, if they're not used to teaching a certain level, we have to train them. That too.
Oh, even train them. Oh, that's yeah. Usually, instructor are very adaptable from my experience. So even though they don't really necessarily have a really in-depth expertise in that subject, they are still more intelligent than students, right? In general. So instructor usually, in terms of capability, they are better than students. So usually they adapt relatively faster than students. So in the first semester, they maybe struggle. The next semester, they figure out. And then the following semester, they do better. Eventually, they're okay.
Yeah. So yes, so we don't have a lot of time, I guess.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Unfortunately, the I can create curriculum, but I can only help you with the course I'm teaching. So
Yes.
I'm more than happy to share my course material. So someone who willing to teach the course that somewhat related similar to what I'm teaching, I can definitely share my course material. Well, I have no question. But then other subject I don't really teach. Or I have never taught. I actually in this department I taught so many courses. So I actually taught several other courses. But then there are certain courses I never taught. Then I don't have any course material. So I have no way to share. So
Yeah,
then,
no
yeah, but
worries.
nowadays basically there are plenty of internet source. So they can find
Yes.
like lecture material, so many
Yeah.
different things. As
Yeah.
long as they are
Yeah.
willing to actually learn and prepare, then they can actually prepare.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, let's say AI will solve our problems. So hopefully ChatGPT can help speed it up too.
For course material, then from my experience, ChatGPT is not usually doesn't help much.
Okay.
So better idea basically you download the course material or PowerPoint slide from internet. Because many school, especially those good school or reputable school, they are open to share. So you can easily find lecture material from internet. Then you don't want to use them directly actually, because those material usually taught and used in top school. Then many students don't necessarily understand.
Yeah.
So you have to cut out, then slim down and simplify, and that's still they save a lot of time. Basically, instructors save a lot of time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay.
So
So
we'll
okay
plan
then.
October
Yeah.
7th.
Okay. I will. Yeah. Can you send me an
Now,
invite? Then the Zoom invite or Google invite.
yes.
The Google invite doesn't have to work. So Zoom invite, if you're fine, then would be
Okay.
better. Then I will
Yeah,
then.
I will do that.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you. Have a
Great
good
day.
day.
Thank you, Professor.
And
Bye.
Christoph. Let's see.